sports are really important vehicles for relationships.
We have purpose. We have a why. We bring people together. We connect.
I feel like God is our greatest supporter and our greatest coach.
Welcome to Rabbi on the Sidelines. This is Rabbi Sherman from Sinai Temple in Los Angeles. It's right before Shabbat, but we could not end the week without this special guest who just landed in Los Angeles from the land of Israel, here in Los Angeles for a very special event for the Israel Tennis and Education Center. His name is Noam Yitzchaki. He has an amazing journey through the tennis world and is helping young people in Israel bridge the gap between different social divides, between religious and cultural divides, between countries, all because of this game of tennis. Noam Yitzchaki is joining us live from Los Angeles. Welcome. How are you, Noam?
Shalom, everyone. Waited for so long to be here and very excited. Thank you for the opportunity.
Of course, we can't begin without giving a shout out to our good friends of Sinai Temple and to the Israel Tennis and Education Center. It's Gail and Fred Rollman, who watched this program religiously and said, you need to host the Israel Tennis and Education Center. And so you're in Los Angeles, but last year you were actually at Sinai Temple for a Shabbat, and you gave a wonderful, wonderful presentation about what this is all about. So let's talk first about you, Israel, and tennis, because Israel and tennis you don't often hear in the same sentence. So how did you get involved in the sport in the land of Israel? Who are you, Noam Yitzchaki?
Shalom, yeah, thanks. I'm very excited actually to be here and share my story that represent story of thousands of children throughout the years. I grew up in a small city in Kiryat Shmona near the Lebanese border. Back then, we suffered a lot from rockets from Lebanon. And for us, there was nothing to do after school. And I was fortunate and lucky to be introduced one day to the tennis center in the city. And I went there with my friend. And since then, the rest is history. I'm here after 26 years working for the organization and providing opportunities for other children in Israel right now.
So often Israel is, let's say, connected to soccer in terms of the European sports. It's often connected to basketball with different things like Maccabi Tel Aviv, Hapoel Yerushalayim, Amari Stoudemire. But what about tennis? What drew you to that sport specifically that allowed you to have a different experience and led you to a life's journey that you're doing today?
Yeah, so for me, when I started, it wasn't about winning Wimbledon or US Open.
But now it is, right?
Now for sure, yes, but it was to find a safe place after school while my parents were at work, and that was all about. I fell in love with the game. I found myself playing hours against the wall with my friends. Later on, got a little bit better, so started to play some regional tournaments. And met some friends out of my city in Haifa, in Akko, in the north area, and then got a little bit better, started to play some national tournament, later on international, and tennis was the door for me to open so many opportunities in life and meet so many people all over the world. And actually 20 years later, started my master's program at USF, University of South Florida in Tampa. And I got a scholarship thanks to the tennis. So literally it opened me so many doors in life, and I'm fortunate to.
So let's talk about the U.S.-Israel relationship for a moment, because you mentioned when you were here that graduates of the Israel Tennis and Education Center, in fact, often get scholarships to United States universities for tennis. Talk about those, some who are Jewish, some who are Arab. Tell us maybe 2 or 3 of those favorite stories of success that because of the center, they've now gotten an education and gone further with their journey.
Yeah, we believe that education is the key in life, and not everyone win Wimbledon, although we have one graduate who won Wimbledon, Australian Open, Andy Ram. But Andy Ram from Jerusalem, yes, he had a fabulous career, but we understand that not everyone can get to this level, and we want to provide them better future, brighter future, and we know education is the key. So we help a lot of our graduates after their army service to get scholarship in high-level school industries in the U.S. We are speaking about schools like UCLA. We are speaking about Duke. Any school we can name, and we have throughout the years one graduate that played for their tennis team and represent us in the best way.
And so how do these schools find Israel? Do they know that the Israel Tennis Center is a place where they're going to find the highest quality tennis player and, of course, individual?
So we find them. We try to provide our players the best tools to play in the tour and in college, and we reach out to the schools and help them in the whole process from the SIT test to get the scholarship and then find jobs. So yes, that's
so the mission statement that I'm going to read from the Israel Tennis and Education Center says this: to empower all, and I underlined all, to empower all children across Israel to dream. And by doing this, we are building bridges to create a more peaceful and stronger Israeli society. The two words that jump out are empower and dream. And one of those, let's say, categories of people you allow to dream are the disabled, and to include them. So this is a video that is found on the Israel Tennis Education Center YouTube, and it's about wheelchair tennis. So let's watch this, and you maybe tell me a little bit more about these players and what it means to dream.
Playing tennis.
אני כבר שנה בתוכנית ואני מאוד נהנית.
What do you like the most about the program?
את זה שאני מכירה חברים חדשים ואני גם נורא אוהבת לשחק טניס, אז זה כיף לי.
So we are here with Zidan, a great tennis player, but beside it, a great human being. I really enjoy to watch you play tennis, and would you like to share with us a little bit, how do you feel when you are coming and playing at the tennis center?
אוקיי, אז אני בעצם, כשאני מגיע לפה אחרי שעות הלימודים המעייפות שלי, זה בעצם נותן לי תחושה אחרת, וזה מפקס אותי, וזה נותן לי יותר הרגשה טובה.
So for the people that are listening and that will watch this that didn't see the subtitles, but it's these young people in wheelchairs who are playing tennis and telling you, I feel just so good and different, not in a bad way, but in a good way of different when I come to the Israel Tennis Center. How do you talk to families saying that we can allow your child to dream in possibilities that you never thought of because of the simple ball and racket?
Yeah, on our court, everyone is welcome, and we have a very meaningful program in Akko Tennis Center, and where children with wheelchair come there after school twice a week and have activity. Actually, I was fortunate to be there a few times and do the activity with them, which is, it's amazing just to see first the smile on their face, but beside it, to see how they active. They do the warm-up, sometimes kickboxing, sometimes other sport, and then do some tennis drill. Some of them really take the tennis seriously and trying to play more in tournament and stuff, but this is just the place that include everyone, and we have a lot in this program specifically. We have a lot of volunteers, and our children, the high performance children, volunteer and do the activity with them. So it's really meaningful for us to do that, and of course I would say for them as well.
So tell me about the parents after they see that their child has this ability to play tennis. Maybe give us an example of his Orel or Idan's parents after the first time they see them on the court. What does that feel like to them, and then what does it feel like to you?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's definitely, they really appreciate it. That's they really know how meaningful for them, for their children, and they always say like thank you, like really enjoy it, and to see their children developing that way and learning another skills in life.
And so that's one category, and we don't have time to cover all the categories, but the next one I want to categorize are interreligious and international. And the Abraham Accords happened. And when you think about the Abraham Accords, you don't think about tennis. But one of the visitors that you had to the Israel Tennis Education Center was the ambassador to Morocco. And this is what happened when he came to visit, based on what's happening in the Middle East and international affairs.
We have been focusing a lot on, after the Abraham Accords, about bridging to other neighbors countries, and one of them I hope will be Morocco. I know that Morocco had in the past great tennis players. Tennis is a beautiful game to bridge between cultures.
Happy to be here and be part of maybe history. And for the professional, it will be more meaningful and special than I think other people here in the room, because our best friends on tour are Moroccan.
So that's interesting. Andy Ram saying our best friends on tour are Moroccans, and here you have an Israeli who's brought together with a Moroccan. If it wasn't besides tennis, they probably wouldn't know each other. And so maybe you can share how tennis has brought relations between countries, maybe first start individually and seeing how that can lead to more national effects.
Yeah, so actually following the Abraham Accord, we got an invitation from a sheikh, Sunni sheikh from the UAE, to invite one of our players to play on his tournament in Dubai, and it opened door. And again, sport as a tool, in our case, tennis, such a powerful tool to connect between countries, religions, and anything else. So following that, the ambassador of Bahrain came as well.
Wow.
And as you could see, the ambassador of Morocco as well. And the tennis just creates bridges between nationalities internally in Israel and so many other aspects.
So let's talk about the internal aspect, because you mentioned Akko. Later on, we'll talk about the 14 different tennis centers that are around the land of Israel. But how about between Arabs and Jews? Because, that's the, not only say internal challenge, but often those are the two groups of people that are not meeting, but on the tennis court, it brings them together. I believe you said when you were at Sinai Temple last that you also go into Arab villages and work with them there. What does that look like to engage people who probably have not played this sport before in a meaningful way?
Yeah, it's really meaningful. First, to provide them the opportunity to play tennis, but beside that, to connect them to play together. We call the program Living Together, because we have Jewish and Muslim and Christian and Druze and Bedouin. All of them play together, and we started, I would say, in 2001, we started our tennis center in Taipei, which the first time we approached to an Arab village and provide our services and our activity over there. And I can tell you, it's just growing and growing, and families understand that it's such a powerful and beautiful way to educate their children and provide them life skills and values. So, yes.
And so take us through going into Taipei. Whose idea was it? Who did you approach first? How did that first session work? And then I remember you also told me when we met in person that different people started celebrating holidays together based on just simply knowing each other as humans.
Yeah. The holidays, it's a big part in our tennis centers, mixed cities such as Haifa, Akko, Jerusalem, Jaffa. We have a beautiful, let's say, in Christmas and Hanukkah. So we celebrate together during the end of Ramadan in Beersheba and Rahat, which is a village. We were invited to the village to celebrate the end of the fasting, and they celebrate with us our holiday. So it's just so beautiful to see how diverse groups, so many minorities coming together to create such a strong society. And now going to the Arab village, this is very meaningful to go there to play tennis in their school, and you hear the language, you hear Arabic. So how you communicate, sport is a great tool to communicate between each other.
And what were the challenges when you went into Taipei, or was it simply open arms?
Yeah, it was open arms, but still there were a lot of things that we need to overcome, such as language barriers, such as cultural. So what we did, the center manager in Taipei, he's a local Arab, Muslim Arab, who cooperate with another Israeli manager, and they operate the activity together. So he knows the culture, he knows the language. We provide the tools, and together we create beautiful activity there.
And can you speak about a relationship where an Israeli and an Arab, Jewish and Muslim met, and together after they graduate the tennis center, they're either doing something together or they're at least staying cordial in terms of their relationships?
Yeah, it's a long time friendships created, and I can tell you that so many of them keep staying friends. And in our tennis center, you can find in Christian or Arab, it doesn't matter. It's literally doesn't matter. They're all friends, and they're staying friends. And one of my best friend, he is Christian that immigrated from Lebanon in 2000. So
Wow.
I met him throughout the tennis center. So still friends after a lot of years.
And so let's talk a little bit about the history and how it grew from just one little center to 14 centers around, serving 20,000 children, and specifically also children at risk.
There are
Yes,
some rough neighborhood. Kids live in those neighborhoods, and this is our task, to support those kids and to help them to be out of their neighborhood and out of their home as much as we can. The Children at Risk program is a wonderful solution. They can choose whatever they like to do. If they want to play basketball, soccer, if they like to walk in the gym, if they want to play video games, and if they want to play tennis, doesn't matter. And many times I see that those kids find an island of stability in a rough area that they are living in.
The tennis center in Jaffa, 90% of our children are subsidized, and we teach them how to behave, how to solve problems, how to make decisions. We're trying to give them things that they will take later on in their life.
So many different aspects of this tennis center, the multicultural aspect, the diverse aspect, the disability aspect, but simply lessons in life. How do you have space for 20,000 children a week, and what is the goal? What is their journey once they enter the center until the time that they leave?
Yeah, so first I'm very excited to watch. I was very excited to watch this video. The center manager Shaul, he was my coach. So I would like to point that 85% of our tennis center manager and coaches, they are graduate of the program,
and he himself was a child at risk many years ago.
Right. He started again, same city as I grew up, and tennis saved his life. And now, yes, he's fortunate to do it for others. And I just think we are growing. We are always trying to expand. We have currently more locations and in order to have more children, and we are trying to reach any children, and we have zero turn away from sending children at home because of their religion, socioeconomical, or any other reason. And we are having the support from North America, and we are fortunate to have the support from mostly Jewish all over North America. And yes, that's thanks to them we are able to continue.
So that's why you're in Los Angeles this weekend. I was going to say that everybody should join on Sunday in the Israel Tennis and Education Center special event, but it is actually sold out to capacity. So we're going to have to wait till the next time you come around. And so what does that look like? When you come to Los Angeles, what are the lessons that you're trying to get to the Jewish community, to the tennis world? And how do you create those same lessons that you already teach on the court in Israel to the diaspora outside of the land of Israel?
So our goal in the exhibition and the event on Sunday is to bring Israel to Los Angeles and provide a sample of what we do in Israel. So this team that just arrived from Israel as well. So we will have Liron, who her parents immigrated from Ethiopia. We have Coach Sasha, who his parents immigrated from Ukraine back then on the 90s. Wow. We have Shadi, who grew up in a Muslim Bedouin village and currently study in the US. We have Rotem, who has a hearing aid, but tennis has changed her life. And Danielle, who tennis is a safe place for him after school, where he lives near the border, the Lebanese border. So we are trying to bring our diverse work into the communities here in North America, and of course to share our inspiring story with everyone.
And so sports has always sort of been on the side of faith, right? Like a rabbi talking about tennis is probably not something that you've really seen so much of. But today's world, as Abraham Accords are coming about and diversity, equity, and inclusion are coming about, and people want to be more together, sports is a place where you don't have to talk about the things that divide you, but the things that can bring you together. And so, what is the message to the faith communities? What moments of faith have you seen, either on or off the court, through your experience with the tennis center?
Yeah, sport is a great tool to unite between people, and in our case, it's tennis. And it doesn't matter where you come from; it doesn't matter your background, as long as you play together and have fun. We can have a better sport, and in our case, in Israel, create a stronger society throughout the tennis.
And so, one person that has commented on the Israeli Tennis and Education Center is John McEnroe. This is what he had to say about his experience with the tennis center.
Tennis teaches you so many life lessons. It's a very difficult game to learn and master. And when you bring kids together in an environment like they have at the Israel Tennis Center, it encourages them to take chances, it encourages them to do things out of their comfort zone. And the work they're doing at the tennis center there is just unbelievable.
So, as much as John McEnroe said is the music that played behind, I'm not sure if you know that song, but it was Ani ve'ata mishaneh et ha'olam from David Broza. And I think that song really epitomizes what you do at this tennis center, that two people on a court staring at each other, mishaneh et ha'olam is to changing the world. So, John McEnroe, what are your thoughts on his commentary about what you're doing to also change the world?
Yeah, it's so we believe, and this is something that we have been saying for a long time. We can't change the whole world, but we can change the whole world of one child, and one child at a time. And together, we change one child, we change his family, his neighborhood, and slowly the society, and creating stronger Israel, so and better world. So yeah.
I love that. You cannot change the whole world, but you can change the entire world of a child. That is words of wisdom from Noam Yitzchaki. And so, when you take these players and coaches out of the Israel Tennis Center to America for a tour that you're doing, as much as we support the Israel Tennis and Education Center, what does seeing the world mean to them, and how do they bring that back to the land of Israel?
It's amazing to see some of them. It's their first time in the US, and to see how it opens doors for them to start and dream and hope maybe to come and study here. So a lot of our students are, after coming here, they're starting to dream about the idea of having education here in a top institute, and then go back to Israel with education and influence the industries. We are speaking about the medical industries. We are speaking about any other industries, high-tech industries, and they are influential. They get leadership skills here, and it's just amazing to see how it changed their life.
And so, we can't see you in LA because it's sold out, but where else around the United States can we see you around this tour for people watching around the country?
Yes, so from here we are heading to, we'll have in Youngstown, Ohio, and then Chicago. We will have a great weekend in Chicago, Philadelphia, and Toronto as well. So very excited.
And what would be your message to a young person that's not choosing between different sports, but hasn't really engaged in tennis? Why pick up that racket right now when you're 6, 7, or 8 years old instead of migrating to the basketball court, the soccer field, or the football field?
I would say soccer, basketball, you have a lot of contact there. In tennis, you have the net to separate between. No, I'm joking. But it's a great game. You take a lot of responsibility on yourself, and you learn life skills and values. And I think it's really develop your personality to a better person and success in life.
And so let's just conclude by asking a future question. 14 centers, 20,000 students a day, Israeli, Arab, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, disabled, abled, everything. As you said, not being able to say no to somebody. In 5 years, what's your dream of what we can help bring to the Israel Tennis Center and education?
Yeah, so first and foremost, having more children, providing children the opportunity and open them so many doors throughout the game of tennis. That's always been our goal. And since we started some relationship with Arab countries, UAE, Morocco, Bahrain, Our dream is to do the Middle East Cup, tennis Middle East Cup in Jerusalem, and hopefully one day it will happen.
Who is your tennis hero? Which player do you look up to and model your game after?
Wow, that's a very tough question, because we are living in a generation of so many good players, but actually I really have been admired Dudi Sela from my hometown, who got to be 27 in the world, and without any major physical characteristics, but first he's Israeli from my hometown, so I was always cheering for him.
And if somebody's visiting Israel and they want to visit an Israel Tennis and Education Center, how do we do it? Where do we go?
Yes, we have first in our website, itecenters.org, that people can get more information about our locations, and they can always contact our office in Florida and New York, which all the contact info over there. And we would love to have anyone to come and see our activity firsthand. Everyone will be welcome, I promise you.
Well, we are so thrilled that the moment that you got off that airplane from Ben Gurion Airport to Los Angeles, you decided to join us in the Sinai Temple Rabbi on the Sidelines podcast, where we talk about the intersection of sports and faith. We are just thrilled to have this connection, a beautiful relationship between Sinai Temple here in Los Angeles and the Israel Tennis and Education Center, in gratitude to Gail and Fred Rollman and so many others at Sinai Temple who are actively involved in the Tennis and Education Center. Noam, we look forward to seeing you in person very shortly, both in the synagogue and most importantly on the court, both here and more importantly in Israel. Noam, Shabbat Shalom, and so great to have you.
Thank you for this marvelous opportunity. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.